So the purpose of today's video is to go over debugging techniques. This is part 1. Hey folks, welcome back to Success Over Stress. I'm Eric Garland. I am your guide to easy language programming and algorithmic trading. All right, so today my attempt is to share with you a little bit of information about debugging, the debugging process. So not just using the debugger, the standard debugger, which we all know and love, may be familiar with programming, but several different ways to debug your system. So we're just going to pretty much make a script about this length, and then I'll kind of walk you through everything. So we will use some debugging approaches, such as just a print statement, commentary, plotting, using methods, try catch, function or blocks, and the debugger. So first thing I'll do is that we'll just print something to the print log. So the first one that we'll do will be one print log. Okay, so if last bar on chart, then print, we'll just print the close. All right, the close is there. Okay, so that's the close. All right, and let's make it a little more comprehensive. So there's your close. Closes 40:05. All right, so what we're going to do now, so that's using the print log. Okay, so if you are unsure about what something is on your chart, you can just use a simple print log. You can modify this. This might be date and time. This might be the first bar of the session. This may be if you're taking an entry on a strategy. It could be a lot of different things, but you can certainly use a print log to show you the information there. All right, so the second thing that we'll do is we'll use the commentary. All right, commentary is one of those little things on the chart which you might not use all the time, but if you go up here and you see this analysis commentary is grayed out. If you do have something on your chart that allows you to, or that is calling for anything with the commentary function, then this won't be grayed out. You can use it. All right, so right now it's grayed out. Can't click on it. All right, but if we come over here and we say, all right, so we'll make this a block. If last bar on the chart, all right, so we'll do this as print. See there, it says print close. Okay, so we'll just copy this, paste that, comment this out, and then this time, instead of printing, we're going to do commentary. Okay, commentary, and then you just put whatever the string is that you want to put. Okay, so we'll say commentary close. Verify that. Okay, so now you see this is not grayed out. So now you can actually click on it. Okay. Only thing is that if you click on it on any bar, it will just say no analysis commentary has been generated for this bar. Okay. Unless you get on that final bar, right? Because the final bar, last bar on the chart, is the only one that has something generated for it. So let's click back on the analysis commentary, click on this bar, and it says commentary close 40:05. Okay. Of course, if we click on the bar before it, nothing happens there. Okay, so again, if you are doing something with your chart, if you want to know when there's a bullish bar or something like that, so if it's a bullish bar, then you're going to print the commentary. So bullish bar here, there's a bullish bar. It says commentary close, right? So just whatever you want to put right there. Okay, so we'll go back to the last bar on chart. All right, so we covered commentary. All right, so the next thing that we can do is one of the things that I, just as programs get longer and longer, I enjoy is using methods to be able to capture when something goes awry. So we'll do a method here, and then we'll have a method that says method void x, we'll call it x divide. And I'm going to have a variable here. You'll see why. It's an integer. It'll be called 0. Begin, end. Okay, and then we will make a value 99 equals 5 divided by 0. Okay, so once we verify that, we don't have any errors. Okay, so because this method is not called immediately, and we don't know necessarily this to be 0 because it was just declared up here. Now let's actually make it 0. But again, this isn't actually run because the chart didn't call for it to run. Okay, chart didn't ask for xDivide to be used. So we verify this, no issues. Okay, but what we're going to do now is we're going to go up here and say if we're the last one on the chart, then we're going to xDivide. So xDivide. Now watch this. Hit verify. Now we have an error come up. Attempt to divide by 0. Always check before dividing. Make sure your divisor is not 0. Okay, and our divisor is 0. Okay, so but one of the important things I want to show you here is that under the event, it shows you that the program is the debugging program, but it shows you that the error is in the xDivide method, right? So some of the times you might have a program that might have 20 methods. I mean, it's a fact, right? You might have many functions, you might have many methods, but if you have it as a method here, it'll show you, the event will show up that your error or your issue showed up in the xDivide method, which is great to help with the debugging process, because instead of now trying to figure out where your problem is in a whole program of like 2,000 lines, it narrows it down to a single method that may be 10 lines. So that's great. I love it. I love this. Okay, so we have the method version. Okay. All right, so we can take the method version a step further because we did have an exception there. It was a divide by 0 exception. What we'll do now is we will do a try catch. And what do we do? Try here and then catch. We want to catch EOSystem.exception, EX. And then we will print cannot divide by 0. So we're going to try to, this time we're going to try to calculate this expression. And if we do end up getting an exception, we're going to catch it, print out this statement, and then end. We won't do a finally on here. And verify it. Verify it there. Let's bring it back on the chart, because anytime when you get this kind of event log error, it will throw off. That exception will stop your program. So let's turn it back on. So this time we turned it on, and we still ran this same expression, except this time we caught the exception and we allowed the program to still continue to run. You may want to do that. Again, that's going to be one of those times where you will have an exception that you are expecting to have happen and you are okay with the program continuing. Instead of doing this print here, you could also throw ELSystem.stop calculation exception.create, and then you'll say Eric stopped this due to 0 in denominator. Okay. Now you see, now this time when we ran it, we got that cannot divide by 0, but this time it shut the program off. And how did it shut the program off? Well, Eric stopped this due to 0 in denominator. So I stopped this with the stop calculation exception created. And so like I said, we just added that into this block here after we caught this exception. But we don't want to stop the function from running, so or the program from running. So we're just going to turn it on. We're going to let it keep running, but just say cannot divide by 0. All right, so that is how you use a try catch. Try with your expression, catch your exception, and then run your other lines of code, and then end. Okay, so that is the try